Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Browns NFL Football Week 1 postgame show and Sunday Night Football update show. We'll talk about today's game and all the NFL games, and we'll update you on the Sunday night game. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 uh, Browns NFL Football Week 1 trivia question, and it is a Browns trivia question. Which Browns QB was known as Dr. Bomb? I'll have the answer later in the podcast. Well, well, the Browns defense really delivered as they blew out the Cincinnati Bengals 24 to 3 today at First Energy Stadium. A dominating performance against Cincinnati's high-powered offense on a rainy afternoon. Uh, it was what we expected and more from Jim Schwartz's defense. Now, Watson still has plenty to prove after a uh, home opener, which he won, hopped plenty throws, which he which which led which he led to a 54 yard completion rate and one touchdown pass plus a touchdown run compared to one interception, but Cleveland won anyway because of a dominant defense and Nick Chubb's usual excellence. As the coaches say, you'd rather learn from a win than a loss. And for the first time in his career, uh, Watson looks like he's playing with a roster that allows him that luxury. Let's start with the Browns defense, which held Joe Burrow's Bengals to 3 points for the first time since Burrow's rookie season. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase combined for 5 catches and 39 yards on 17 targets, and the Cleveland run defense that ranked 24th against that run last season held the Browns to 4 yards per carry on Sunday, which would have ranked fourth in the league last season. Uh, now, and I got to tell you, this was one heck of a game today for the and uh, and Burrow could have used a player like Chubb, who gained 106 yards to keep Cleveland's offense humming, or an offensive line that included three former Pro Bowlers and offered him more time to breathe. He didn't have either. He didn't have either. Excuse me. Uh, you know who else didn't? Houston Watson, the superstar that Browns fans are increasingly anxious to see. The three-time Pro Bowler played uh, with one 1,000-yard rusher veteran running back Carlos Hyde, who notched 1,070 in 2019 during 4 seasons with the Texans. He also ranked top 10 in sack yards, lost 3 times during that span. He only played 6 games as a rookie. Fans and media anointed him to a star for leading Houston to the playoffs twice despite their adverse conditions. But here's the secret. Watson logged 18 of his 28 wins as the Texans starter, which throwing for fewer than 300 yards passing yards. And when he eclipsed that mark, Houston lost 61% of those games and had a record of 7-11. The lesson for Cleveland: winning games is about more than just finding the right quarterback. It's also about supporting him on his best days, and the and and that infrastructure can inspire Cleveland to dream big. On days like Sunday, the Browns can celebrate a win even though their franchise quarterback hasn't earned that label back. Watson can thank the league's best running game uh, and an elite defense for his first win in 2023. Then he can work on paying them back, and if the Browns quarterback can ever match his supporting cast, his new city will be making will be asking bigger, more important questions this winter. So that was really and he still has a lot to prove, but he had some one hop throws today in this game, and and I'm going to give you the highlights. And I took the Browns for that game, and I won on that one, 4-3, because I won that one. So, and Thursday, the Detroit Lions in a sloppy win beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and that was 21-20. And I lost on that one. Everybody lost on that one. We took the Chiefs. I wanted to let you know on that one. And okay, and I am going to give you the highlights of this game right now. They were scoreless in the second quarter. Uh, D, Dustin Hopkins, 40. Actually, I'm going to go into the plays. Okay, first quarter. The Bengals went 3-and-out and had to punt after 6 plays and 16 yards. Then the Browns went 3-and-out and they had to punt after 6 plays and 14 yards. And the Bengals went 3-and-out and had to punt again after 3 plays and 4 yards. And the Browns had a fumble. First, it was a first and it was a 2nd and 5 at the Cincinnati 21. Deshaun Watson to Cincinnati 25 for 4 yards, fumbles, and recovers at Cincinnati 25. Deshaun Watson to Cincinnati 24 for 1 yard, and the handoff to Jerome Ford to Cincinnati 16 for 8 yards, and Pratt and Scott fumbles and recovered by Cincinnati. Uh, MUZ at Cincinnati 13 to Cincinnati 13 for no gain, and Elijah Moore held him to. And the Bengals had to punt again after going 3-and-out, 3 plays, 9 yards. And then at the end of the first quarter, whoa, there's some technical problems here, and I'm sorry. They were not able to score a touchdown, but they did. They set up for a field goal. Dustin Hopkins' 42-yard field goal is good, and it was a 42-yard one, and at 4th and 10, and it was 3-0 Browns at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Bengals had to punt after going 3-and-out, 3 plays, 2 yards, and the Browns had to punt after going out 3-and-out, 4 plays, -1 yard, and then the Bengals had to punt after going 3-and-out, 5 plays, 41 yards. Then Browns had to punt again after going 5 plays and 15 yards, 3-and-out. And the Bengals had to punt again after going 3-and-out, 3 plays and 9 yards. And the Browns had to punt again after going 3-and-out, 4 plays and 14 yards. Then the Bengals had to punt after going 3-and-out, 3 plays and 2 yards. And then the Browns scored their first touchdown of the game. And it was a Second and 10. Deshaun Watson left end for the 13-yard touchdown. Dustin Hopkins extra point is good, and it was 10-0 Browns. And Hopkins kicked 65 yards from the Cleveland 35 end zone for a touchback. Joe Burrow kneels Cincinnati 24 for -1 yard. 10-0 at the break at halftime. Then the Browns went 3-and-out after had to punt after going 3-and-out after 3 plays at -1 yard, and then Cincinnati was not able to score a touchdown, but it was their only score of the game was a field goal. McPherson 42-yard field goal was good, and it was 10-3 Browns. And then the Browns had an interception, and it was Deshaun Watson pass short left at 2nd and 9. Deshaun Watson pass short left intended for Elijah Moore, intercepted it by David Hill, and caught at the Cincy 30 for pushed out of bounds at the 50 for 20 yards. Jedrick Wills penalty on Cleveland. Wyatt Teller offensive holding, and it was declined. And then Cincinnati wasn't able to score a touchdown, so they sent it for a field goal attempt. McPherson's 51-yard field goal was no good. It was wide right, and it was still 10-3 Browns. Then the Browns, they tried to score a touchdown again, but were not able to, and went for a field goal, which was the right call. Dustin Hopkins' 34-yard field goal was good, and it was 13-3 Browns. And at the end of it, and then the Bengals had to punt after going 3-and-out, 5 plays, 17 yards, and it was 13-3 Browns at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, the Browns tried to score another touchdown, but had to settle for another field goal again. And it was 4th and 3 at the Cincinnati 25. Dustin Hopkins' 43-yard field goal attempt is good, and it was 16-3 Browns. Then the Cincinnati Bengals had a turnover on downs, and it was 4th and 4. Joe Burrow sacked at the Cincinnati 18 for -13 yards. Myles Garrett's the one that sacked him for no gain. And the Browns get the ball back, and they scored their second touchdown of the game. And it was Nate Harris and James Hudson reporting. Deshaun Watson passed short right to Harrison Bryant for the 3-yard touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion attempt. Deshaun Watson rushes left tackle, and it was successful, and it was 24-3 Browns. And then Cincinnati had to punt after going 3-and-out, 3 plays, 5 yards. Browns had to punt after going 3-and-out, 3 plays, 2 yards. And then Cincinnati had to punt again after 3 plays, 2 yards, 3-and-out. Browns then had to punt when they had the ball back. It's 3-and-out, 6 plays, 10 yards. And then there was one play. Joe Browning kneels because he had to come in. Joe Burrow got injured at the Cincinnati for 1 yard. And nonetheless, the Browns win. They get another season first season opener, double season opener, back-to-back season opening wins since 93-94. And Jack Conklin suffered a knee injury during the game, and Kevin Stefanski is hoping for the best for him, but he may but he's back. The other defensive back maybe taking over for the rest of the season, the remainder of the season. And I got to give the game balls to the Cleveland Browns. And Deshaun Watson, 16 of 29 carries and attempts, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nick Chubb, 18 attempts, 106 yards, no touchdowns. Elijah Moore, 3 receptions, 43 yards, did not have a touchdown score. So those were my players for the Browns. And next up, they got Pittsburgh on Monday night next week. So they can get ready for that. We're going to celebrate the fact that we are 1-0. And I will let me give you the answer to today's trivia question. Then I'll do my pick for I'll do the other scores from today. Let me just do this quick. Which Browns quarterback was known as Mr. Bomb? And if you said Dave Mays, you are correct. Mays, a practicing uh, dentist, uh, even during his playing days with the Browns, once filled in for an injured Brian Saib and led the team to an 18-16 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you the final scores from today's game. I'm going to do that real quickly. Come on, sucker. Oops. Sorry, I'm having a little technical problem here, and I'm sorry. I'm going to get them back for you right now. Okay, let's start with the early games. The Atlanta Falcons beat the Carolina Panthers 24-10 today at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And I got to give credit to where credit is due. And it's the Atlanta Falcons. Riddler gets a game ball, and Elfiger and Robinson, they get the game balls today. And the Baltimore Ravens walloped the Houston Texans 25-9 at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And I took Atlanta at 1. I took Baltimore at 1. Sorry about that. Uh, all right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Indianapolis Colts 31-21 today at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. And I got to give the game balls to Adrian Richardson and uh, Mike Pittman. I got to give it to him for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Minnesota Vikings 20-17 today at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I got to give Baker Mayfield the game ball. The Tennessee Titans beat the New Orleans Saints 16-15 at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, and I have to give the game ball to Derek Carr. I have to give it to him. And Shareed and Williams. The San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. They walloped them 30-7 today at Ashka and Ash uh, uh, Agrisher Stadium in Pittsburgh, and I have to give the game ball to Brock Purdy. I have to give it to him. The Washington Commanders beat the Washington Commanders beat the Arizona Cardinals 20-16, and I give Jacoby Brissett the game ball. The Green Bay Packers upset. This is a surprise that the Green Bay Packers beat Chicago, the Bears, 38-20, and I got to give the game ball to Jalen Fields. I have to give it to him, and Mooney as well. I have to give it to him. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the Denver Broncos 17-16. in Empire Stadium in Mile High, and I have to give it to Jimmy Garoppolo, the game ball. Russell Wilson had a good game, but he just wasn't able to get the win. The Miami Dolphins beat the Los Angeles Chargers by 2 points, 36-34 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. So I have to give it to Tagovailoa. I believe that's what it. Yeah, oh, yeah, to Tagovailoa. I have to give it to him. The game ball. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the New England Patriots 25-20 at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and I have to give it to Jalen Hurts, the game ball. And the Los Angeles Rams beat the Seattle Seahawks 30-13 at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. And I got to give the game ball to Matthew Stafford. I have to give it to him. And Atwell and Williams, I have to give it to them. So those are right now. I am 6-8 right now. If I can get Dallas, who is walloping at halftime, 26-0. Boy, Dallas has just dominated this first half. It's been all Cowboys. So that's basically your Sunday Night Football update. So, and before I sign off, I want to welcome all of you to take a look at. I'm on my new set here at Harry Potter Apartments. This is my studio room. I'm just gonna give you a showing here and let you take a look. And this is all of this is my new set. So I'm doing all my podcasts from here. And I know I was supposed to have my friend on today, but he couldn't do it, my friend Matt Murphy. But week 3, I will have him on as my guest at his house from the Murphy house. So look forward to that. But this is my new set, and this is my first podcast on my new set. So what? I'm glad you got to just see my new set just for just a peek at the new set. So that's just about going to do it for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with the Scott Sports 101 Sunday Night Football postgame show once the game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants has concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.